I have in my hands the Z Star range of golf balls for 2025. I have the main line of balls, which is the Z Star, and then we have the Z Star XV and we have the Z Star Diamond. In this video, I'm going to be looking at what these golf balls do with a wedge from close range and long range to see what the difference is between them to help you make the right choice. With a wedge, we want to get the ball to launch in the air, land on the green and stop nice and quick. The more spin we have, the more control we have going into a pin. Each of these golf balls is going to spin differently, but I want to see how much buy with different areas of the game. I'm going to go through wedges on this video, and then the video after will be irons, and then we'll have a look at the big dog. So I'm going to kick things off with a Z Star Diamond from 32 yards. And on the premium golf balls, we have a different material on the outside of the golf ball. These golf balls are urethane covered. Urethane is more expensive, but the urethane just has a bit more elasticity to it and they can get it a lot thinner. So when it's thinner with a more elastic nature, it can deform into the grooves, reform, snap back and create more spin. So let's clip through a few of these at 30 yards. 32. So I'm keeping the shot nice and simple. I'm not actually looking at the target, but I do know where it is. Nice, that shot for example. I'm seeing spin rates that are over 6,000, which for a short shot like that is nice. Let's have a go into the Z Star. Now I haven't heard any updates of what the actual differences are in terms of the media and what the company is saying about the golf balls. I just know that on the side of the boxes, we've got a bit of information written on the side of these boxes. And with every brand, I don't necessarily quite trust those things until I actually hit them myself to see what reaction I get from the ball instead of the writing. Get in the hole. Oh, I missed. Obviously that's all the golf ball's doing. Got a bit lazy on that. Break. Oh. Break, break, break. Oh. Oh, there's the odd shot I don't quite give the ball enough juice. And there's the odd shot I thin, so I'll take out the random ones. Nice. That'll do from there for the Z Star. Now let's go Z Star XV. Now the XV 2 models ago was a 4-piece construction golf ball. So there was 4 different materials within the golf ball, 4 different layers that interacted with the golf ball. Last year they moved them into a 3-piece golf ball, but we still got a separation from them to the Z Star and the Z Star Diamond, but the separation wasn't as much. Do we get that same difference back? Do we get more of a change in performance from that golf ball with a wedge and later on with an iron, later on with a driver? a driver, later on with a driver. With a driver, with a driver. Feels that little bit harder, sounds that little bit clickier. So it is a firmer core golf ball. Definitely. I mean, when I'm flipping from one ball to another ball, I notice that difference in feel and sound straight away. Once I've got that one golf ball in my golf bag and I only use that golf ball, I'm not going to notice it being hard. I'll just get used to what it is, if that makes sense. Ooh, I'm seeing the numbers on here. So the more energy we put into the ball, I like that one. The more energy we put into the ball, the more deforming, reforming of the golf ball, the more reaction it will get from the shot. So when we go back to the fuller shot, we might just get a bit more of an understanding of the separation between the balls. On a 30-yard shot, we might not get a massive difference. We might, I'm not sure yet. But the more energy we put into it, the more we get out of the shot. Drop and stop. Ooh. Still seeing shots over 6,000. Get in the hole. Oh, I missed. And if you do a quick bounce test, this is the XV. We can hear the noise that it makes. Z Star, definitely a lower pitched noise. Z Star Diamond, on that clickier side. So we've got a firmer core in the Diamond, almost feels just in between the two. And the Z Star Diamond came into existence because of Brooks Koepka. He wanted a golf ball that did a specific thing. And what I saw last year with the Z Star Diamond is that in the irons, we got a slightly lower peak height. The ball didn't quite reach as high a point, so it's a bit more stable in the wind. And I saw quite high spin rates with an iron and a wedge, and quite low spin rates with a driver. The compression within the core of each golf ball will change how much rebound you get off a driver. It will change the sort of maximum ball speed that you can create with them. So again, we might see a difference at the top end of the golf bag that we don't quite see in the bottom end of the golf bag because we're treating the ball differently. But we need a golf ball that will give us more strength in our strongest part of our games, and we want to try not to get away from the sort of weaknesses that we've got in the game as well. So if someone doesn't quite spin the 7-iron enough, we can choose a spinnier ball that gets a little bit more spin so we get a bit more control into the greens and maintain spin with the longer irons. But what we don't want to do is compromise the strength of the driver, for example. I find that some of these golf balls, with the XV for example, we get more spin with a wedge, more spin with the iron compared to the Z Star, but then we don't get an increase in spin in the driver, which is really, really nice. A golf ball that spins more than all of these, hands down, is the Callaway Chrome Tour X. That spins way more with a wedge, way more with an iron, but it also spins more with a driver. So we lose a bit of something at the top end of the bag with that golf ball, but we gain something somewhere else in the bag. So if I just flick out the random shots that weren't quite there, they all went pretty close to be fair. So with the data, we do already have a difference in the peak height, even on a 30-yard shot between these golf balls. We've got 11 feet with the Z Star. Z Star Diamond is 14 feet and Z Star XV is back down to 12. So we've got a difference in height from the Diamond, subject to my human variance. So we've got quite similar dispersion rings right at the top there. Speed exactly the same on the Z Star XV. Maybe a little bit more pop on the Diamond. Maybe I put a little bit more speed into it. But we've got the highest spin rate on the Z Star XV. We've got very similar in the Diamond and the Z Star. Similar carries, changing a little bit. Obviously I'm only human, but 26, 27, 30. The variance is 3, 3 and 3. But I'm just seeing that little bit of difference in the spin rate, which is the main thing I'm kind of looking at. There's not something that jumps out massively compared to the others. If I get strength somewhere else in the golf bag, I'm not going to be too far off the beaten track with these short ones. I'm not missing out on anything, apart from maybe that little bit more spin with an XV, which is a compromise of that hard feel. Now I'm going to go for a fuller shot. I've got 92 yards, which last time I checked, that's how far this club goes. Again, I'm putting more energy into this golf ball, so I might get a bit more difference between them. I might be a bit more consistent in terms of my delivery on the shot as well, because I've got way more commitment through the ball. 95, spinning back, nice. So this is the XV, that slightly harder, firmer core. Going up there quite nicely. 98. Ooh, I might have a bit more distance than I did last time I checked. Also going to get a feel for how much these golf balls spin, how much they chew up. Oh, missed it. Because I do want to see like wear and tear on the golf ball. I am using the Callaway wedge. I'm using the Opus wedge because I don't have my RTZ demo kit in yet. And I am really looking forward to those RTZ wedges in the full set so I can get my yardages dialed in. At the minute, this is in the bag because it is here. Well, these are going all right. Uber amounts of control. Ah, I've pulled one, but I should still be on the green. Ooh, 1 inch off. Spinning, right, XV goes back. Let's go Z Star. So this almost just feels like a stock swing, certain amount of energy through the ball. Now in terms of my wedge yardages, I like to put some pace through the ball and then see what comes out. I don't like to try and adjust what I'm doing to a yardage, to a number. I like to go, right, bang, this goes that far. When I'm on the golf course, that's what I'm playing with. And I have said it in other videos, but I will reiterate it for those that didn't see those videos. I only chose 92 yards because that's how far this shot used to go. And I'm just flicking above it, which is nice. Maybe my speed's changed, maybe my launch angle's changed. Ah, shank. Yes, we all do it. I think I got a little bit more that way. That's a danger zone for that strike. I need to get that club head through. But that's a separate video. And it could even be that the golf balls react differently, because I changed my golf ball halfway through last season and my yardages with my irons and wedges kind of came down about 8 yards, but I got massive amounts of more spin. So changing my golf ball changed how far my predicted shot would be. And you've got scenarios on tour where you've got 4 players that use the Titleist Pro V1, but one of those uses the 2013 version, one of them uses the 2019 version, and the other one uses the current version. They're all using the Pro V1, but they're using a Pro V1 that specifically targets what they need to get from the shot. So last shot with this one. Looking good, feeling nice. It does feel softer off the face when I'm going from ball to ball. Let's put the Z Star back and let's get the Z Star Diamond on the go. And who doesn't like diamonds? And while I'm here, I'm just going to take that one low fade out. Definitely not a shank. 96. I still got a decent carry on it. It's actually all right. Okay, I'm going to ignore it anyway. Z Star Diamond. That felt different. I might have just struck it good. Feels like it stays on the face longer. If it's just not really a real thing, but it feels like it. Good. I can almost feel it like contacting the face a little bit differently. Not that it's like better or worse. That is the best. I've hit that slightly towards the hosel and I've still hit the green. These golf balls are fantastic. That's not the golf ball, that's my strike. 10,300 spin. It just went that way of its own accord. I don't like this wedge, if I'm honest. But only because it's standard lie angle. I prefer it to be too flat. It just suits my eye better sitting behind the ball. And I'm looking forward to my wedge fitting where I can get a different lie angle, I can get a different shaft. I get a shaft in the wedges that blends well with the iron shafts, but I don't know what I'm going to be fitted for in the irons yet, so I'm waiting for that to come along. At time of recording, I am doing that next Friday. It just depends how quickly I can get the video recorded and get it edited and get it out. So please do subscribe if you want to see my fitting on next year's kit. This year's kit, because it's already 2025. Right, full of shots. So first thing I want to see is the angle of descent. The angle the ball comes in at is 49. 49 with the Z Star, 48.8 with the Z Star XV. So about the same with those two golf balls. We get more difference in the diamond. The diamond is coming in that little bit steeper with extra spin, which we'll look at in a second. Peak height is 72 Z Star, 70 slightly lower with the Z Star XV, 75 higher with the Z Star Diamond, which last year the height was lower with the 7 iron, 4 iron, with the longer irons with the Z Star Diamond, but we've got a little bit more height in the wedges. So it'll be interesting to see what's happening with the irons when we go into them on the next video. So I've got dispersion rings here. I've got the Z Star Diamond being a little bit closer together. I've got a variance of 1 yard. There's not much in this at all, to be fair, but we've got a variance of 3 on the XV. But coming here, we've got Z Star, Z Star XV, Z Star Diamond. Speed is more on the Diamond, which is the same as what we've got in the 30-yard shot. So it could be at these lower speeds in the wedges, we just get a bit more rebound off the face. Higher launch. Oh, the spin rates are gone, man. Similar launch in the Z Star, Z Star XV. We've got a few consistencies with the Z Star and Z Star XV in terms of like how the ball bounces off the face. It's coming off at the same angle. It's coming off consistently with the two. And then the Z Star Diamond is the one that changes. But if I go back to the other screen, just to see what the spin rates are, ideally they would have come up in here. Consistency of spin is much tighter on the Z Star Diamond. But we have Z Star is 10,350. And then we go up in spin slightly in the Z Star XV. I thought there'd be more difference between the Z Star and Z Star XV, but there we have it. I don't have any shots in the Z Star in the 11,000 range, but I've got one in the 11,000 range in the XV. So it does spin more, but on average, not by a lot. Obviously subject to my strike. And then we go up again, another 300 revs in the Diamond. The Diamond does get more spin. It launches higher, it reaches a higher peak height, and it lands steeper with more spin. So ultimate control with a wedge on the Z Star Diamond. But it'll be interesting to see what that difference is when I then go up to my 7 iron and then go up to my driver. So stay tuned for the next videos and I will see you there.